Solutions Review is on location at Commvault GO in Nashville, Tennessee. Brought to you by Commvault.
We are here at Commvault GO 2018. It is a customer conference down in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are fortunate enough to be with the CMO of Commvault, Chris Powell. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is, we love these types of conferences because not only is it focused particularly on a solution, but it also allows us to see the evolution of a solution. Because we were here last year, and we saw what you were doing then, and this year, really, it's been another step in what I would call simplifying the solution in terms of how customers look at it.
For sure.
Not necessarily making it a simpler solution, but...
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a tough word. Do you want to say you're simple, or is that too,
exactly.
Not a simpleton, simple. I think a lot of what we've been doing for sure, in any company in the tech space especially, it's been around for 20 years, sometimes you have to hit that reset button, look at your overall portfolio and begin to understand how you can maybe simplify it in many cases. And I think in our space especially, there was this case where so many different pieces had been put together as different technology and innovations came along, but eventually when you took a step back, you realized there was a lot of different piece parts you had to figure out. So we tried to rationalize the overall portfolio, make it easier for folks to understand what they were buying, the value that they were going to get.
Well, and it's obviously an incredibly important time in the data center these days. It's very complicated, and I'm sure a lot of customers are looking for something that can be acquired simply, but also can work really neatly together to solve a lot of the problems that are facing a data center.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, what we tried to liken it to, and during this morning's keynote, I think we're at a point now where technology can mask some of that complexity. The complexity, you're totally right, is normal. The amount of data, the different types of data, the locations of all of the data, the regulations involved with it, the number of risks that are now increasing, and different kinds of risks that didn't even exist really 5 years ago. That complexity is sort of natural within the system. You can't just wish that away. But what we need is to use technology in order to put a layer of simplification on top of it so you can really get the value out of the data, you can do your job in a way that doesn't add even more complexity to the system.
So what's your message to a customer that comes to a customer conference like this? What are you trying to let them know in terms of where Commvault is?
I think Commvault has been known for many years as one of the leading backup and recovery vendors in the space, and where we're taking this company now is from being focused and really known for backup and recovery, and that's a proud history that we don't want to lose, but really adding into that and beginning to think of ourselves as a data software company overall. And so the overall portfolio we have certainly is trying to address those data protection needs that companies have, but also this balance that most companies find themselves in now, which is they have to make sure the data is protected so it's available and it's secure, but also they want to ensure that they're using it, they're getting value out of it. And that as we're expanding the portfolio, it's really from those two angles, both protection as well as gaining value and really leveraging the data in your environment.
Well, and you're also extending it all the way down into the compliance areas that are facing an organization with this new Activate module.
Activate, the Commvault Activate, the overall vision we have for this is it's addressing two needs that companies have had. One is, sounds almost crazy, but over the last 5 years to 8 years, most companies have lost track a little bit of what they have. So the first thing that we're looking to deliver is just an understanding of what your data is. And it's not just what it is, it's what's the status of it. Is it duplicative? Is it dormant? All of these different things that we can put on the data, and then also the location of the data. So that knowledge of the data is step one, and then being able to act on that knowledge. So one of the ways you can act on it is for things like sensitive data governance needs like GDPR.
Well, and we just had a conversation about GDPR, and that's a whole another challenge for the data center. Where do you see, where would you like to see a customer going over the next couple of years as they think about the challenges they face and problems they're trying to solve?
Yeah, I think that most of the companies that we're working with, as we work with them, we want them to ensure that they have that foundation of data protection that they're starting with. but then moving into how they can make sure they have the most efficient environment that's driving value out of the data. So the three big messages that we're trying to put out there is the best-in-class backup and recovery solution to make sure it's protected. Also, your overall infrastructure view of your business, and in many cases, just the realization of the promise of the cloud. That sounds like marketing speak almost, but it's so many companies really aren't using the cloud, so we want to put a portfolio out there that helps companies really leverage the cloud in a meaningful way and a smart way, not just as another dumb storage location, but really a place where you're leveraging the elasticity of the cloud, the compute resources and things like that. And then the final piece is this getting value out of the data, serving it up. So many organizations within our customers are looking to leverage that data, and if you even look back in some of the examples we used on stage, look back 20 years, some companies really have such a treasure trove of information that they just need to make available.
Well, I think that is a very interesting story, and there are so many out here with all these customers we've been talking to. This has been very valuable. We appreciate you coming by. I hope you have a great show. We've certainly enjoyed it.
Great, excellent, thanks. Well, thanks for being here.
You bet.